Welcome to Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. All right, guys, I got a special show today. I got my man Coach Rafa here with me, and in a previous show, he's Brazilian, okay? And he walked up to me and said, "Hey, Coach," kind of innocently, and said, "Hey, do you like head?" And I said, "Yeah, Coach, I like head." This is the man, the Brazilian man that likes the head, okay? All right, just in case you missed that last time. But my man, Coach Rafa, is going to explain to all of you how he teaches a special forehand in his clinics to the kids. It's called the Nike Swoosh Forehand, okay? So stay tuned. All right, Coach Rafa. Okay, Coach Rafa likes to teach a thing called the Nike Swoosh Forehand, all right? I was like, that's interesting. So I said, "Coach, how do you teach that, and how did you come up with that?"
Well, when I came up with it, traditionally people teach the C, right? And the kids come in and say, "Hey, do the C, the capital letter, the smaller C." The problem is with the speed of the game, it's hard, right, to get under the ball. Usually what happens with kids, they're small, they get on top of the ball, then that's a high obstacle they ended up missing. So one time I was like, "Oh, you got to get under the ball." And obviously I saw a Nike logo on me and I was like, "Guys, you got to do like the Nike swoosh." And I say that because I am a believer on a more compact backswing. And as you get older, as you get better, then you can implement and get a little more complex. But for starters, it's a good visual and it's very easy to, connect with it because, you can really show them and they can get, in fact, you can even do against like a fence, you can draw it. It's a very simple draw. It's very easy to, connect to it. So I usually tell the kids, I say, "Hey, 3 things only. When the ball comes in, the very first thing you want to do is to turn." Like when we learned tennis many years ago, used to be in those long lines, shuffle, 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 turn. The game has moved from that. It's much faster. So when the ball comes in, the very first thing I tell them is say, "You want to turn." And the best way is, you see your sibling walking by a swimming pool, if he knows how to swim, and you do that little push. Just like gentle. Ball comes in, you push. And then comes the Nike swoosh. It's much easier if you have this motion here because it allows them to get under the ball and extend the finish. If we're talking about that like probably 20 years ago, we were going to talk about that loop and roll. The good old love for topspin. Problem is there's no depth and you cannot create anything with those shots anymore, right? Even though growing up in Brazilian clay, I realized that you need a little more penetration in your shots. So the best way to do it is keep that backswing compact, get under the ball, and then you accelerate finishing the swoosh. If they do that, then we can talk about finishes. That's another thing. But if they get this going, they're probably going to do well. And then at the end, I usually tell them, say, "Hey, if you shower today, it's okay to smell your armpit." So those are 3 things I usually say.
I'm actually going to show you a visual of what Coach Rafa is talking about. From the push to the swoosh to the smell your armpit, okay? So here we go. Coach, where should I stand?
So you stay right there. You kind of walking. We always been to that place that people like walking by the pool. It seems like asking to be pushed to the water, right? So you don't want to go out there and shove them. But you do that nice push. There you go. It's in the water. Mom! Make sure they know how to swim and it's shallow. I don't want to be sued, right? So let's keep this between us. So once I'm here, I already push, the strike zone wide. And I really need space, right? As we know, you really need space to have the full stroke. Once the hand is out and I have that full space, now I will start my swoosh as a step, and then I'm going to get the swoosh. I feel the weight of the head of the racket. It has to be kind of relaxed, right? I do that swoosh, make that contact point right there, and then extend going up. I create that enough topspin. Again, we're not in the 90s. Enough topspin. And once I extend it, that momentum is going to give me the finish. And like I said again, kids, if you shower, smell your armpit. Okay. The importance of it is to understand that as in the logo, you start somewhat slow and then you accelerate. Okay, so that's why I usually tell the swoosh. I show the kids the shoe. They can relate very well. It's a good visual for them because what we don't want to do is that C, old school C. What happens is the ball comes faster than, they're going to be late. They're going to create a lot of bad habits. Their contact point's going to be late. It's going to be too close to them. So we really want that space in the acceleration. Okay?
Well, let's try some. We got Coach Gu here to help us out today. All right, so let's show us some Nike Swoosh Forehands.
Here we go. Just enough under, accelerate. Just enough under, accelerate. Just enough under, sorry, go. Loose. See?
So kids, Coach Rafa actually has some homework for you that you can practice this Nike Swoosh at home. All you need is a wall. Coach, how do we do that?
It's very simple. You know, like what you can do, it's basically pick a spot that's like half of your torso, right? Between your hips and your shoulder. And draw like a ball right here. Make sure you can wipe it later. So in my case, it would be around here. So what I do, I got the racket, I draw a Nike logo. Far enough that I feel that extension, okay? Once you get familiar with that, you can understand how the weight of the racket works and how you can really have the confidence to let the racket go. What we don't want is make that contact and break it, which is something a lot of people do. Regardless your grip, regardless your style, you know, the more modern forehand, you really want that. The only way is just keep the ball in your racket as much as you can.
Perfect. Coach Rafa, thank you so much for joining us today. You have an Instagram, Rafa?
I do.
Where can we find you on Instagram?
Ooh, it's a tough one. It's GEAUXCORYZ at Go Corazza, like Go Tigers.
All right, we'll put that on the bottom just in case you missed that. All right, so thank you, Coach Rafa. And then I want to also thank Coach Gu. Coach Gu, where can we find you?
You can find me at agu.tennis. I'll also be posting that content there as well.
All right, guys. So thank you to the man, Mr. Rafa, Mr. Head. Okay? And thank you to Coach Gu. Thank you for watching Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis.